Welcome to Blockheads Round 5, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey everybody, what's up?
This is Pete here.
And I'm Rocco, the other blockhead, and I think I'm the Steve Jobs of this operation, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I've got all the big ideas, I can see far. Who needs programming skills when you got charisma?
I don't know, I think you strike me more as like the Erlich Bachman of this operation.
What?
Except, I mean, you don't wear the turtleneck like both of them, but you sure sound like the Erlich Bachman. I mean, it's just my feel. I'm sure the listeners agree.
I have done a lot of cool stuff, and everyone loves me, and everyone knows how awesome I am.
That settles it. So anyway, speaking of venture capital and investments, let's introduce the general, prosperous, non-fictitious folks that have decided to sponsor our wonderful podcast.
Yeah, so I got this great new sponsor. They reached out to us. They're known as Strokin' Token because the crypto space needs yet another coin to facilitate the financial transactions between people that like to touch themselves.
Yes.
Plenty of times. Other people, not me, spend countless minutes jumping from room to room looking for a webcam performer that's showing off that bare minimum to get properly excited. And with Strokin' Token's exclusive proof of jerk, your wallet is automatically debited and every performer gets paid.
Great.
Strokin' Token. We didn't launch this token to have free money to do the thing we're embarrassed to talk about.
All right.
And what do you got, Pete?
Well, I got an ICO that's much more reputable than Strokin' Token, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's highly related to the world of cryptocurrency. I mean, everyone in here at Blockheads HQ, the many people here.
All the interns, all the the coffee runners, all the people that work on my hair at Blockheads HQ.
We got the guy who queues up the pool balls.
Pool balls.
Yeah, and we got the feather duster lady. What's her name? Well, anyway, we are pleased to announce this sponsorship.
We can finally afford to pay those people.
Yes.
Who's the sponsor?
We are sponsored by FudSuds. When holding your crypto through the stomach-churning market conditions means letting go of something else.
Ew.
When your pumped-up coins take a dump and you follow suit. When your privacy garments are more opaque than the Fed's monetary policy.
Whoa.
FudSuds is here for you.
I mean, I don't need that.
FudSuds is there.
No way. Okay, so wait. I just looked at something here, Pete, on the phone. I want to share it with everybody.
Yeah, please do.
It's hilarious. I found this on the world-famous Florida man Twitter account. Remember those?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just headlines starting with Florida man or Florida woman. Okay, so it says, Florida woman posts ad on Craigslist selling her bratty stepson in exchange for Bitcoin.
Is that even legal? I mean, seriously, I've heard some Craigslist things, but...
You know, I've done a cost-benefit analysis in my head.
Here we go.
Raising a child versus holding Bitcoin. Okay, think about it. This lady, she's onto something. Florida woman, she's thinking ahead here.
Anyway, the Florida woman headline, as you might have suggested.
Don't retweet it, because that is our Crypto Psych of the Week.
We've been doing this. It's a patent-pending feature of the Blockheads podcast, aimed to temper irrational exuberance in the crypto space by encouraging critical, independent thinking.
Yeah. Think for yourself, guys.
So, let's talk about crypto etiquette. I mean, obviously, Rocco is not an expert on light labor etiquette and podcast etiquette. And
I got so
child etiquette and metaphor etiquette.
I got so much etiquette.
But what about crypto etiquette?
Yeah, I mean, that needs to be talked about. I hope everyone will write this down and start being better.
Okay, so I've got one.
Cool.
If you're reporting on Bitcoin, please, journalists and bloggers, they're kind of journalists too.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe they're better journalists. Maybe journalists are better bloggers, but I don't know. Anyway, if you're reporting on Bitcoin, please do the whole planet a favor. Stop using those stock Google images of the gold coin with a funny bee on it.
Oh my God.
Or like piles of them, or chips and things. People are still getting the idea that there are solid Bitcoins. And how is mass adoption ever going to occur when the public thinks that cashiers are going to start taking those subway tokens?
They look like subway tokens. Yeah, I've seen every single article practically has that thing. I don't know. Cryptocurrency inherently is intangible, and you can't touch it or photograph it, or put it in your mouth and bite it to test if it's real, like some Rip Van Winkle looking prospector that wants to trade his vial of gold for like, half a bushel of mutton jerky at the general store.
I guess people are more likely to actually trade in mutton jerky than they are in real physical bitcoins.
Yeah, because physical bitcoins.
Is that even a thing? Mutton jerky? I guess.
Mutton jerky is more popular than people carrying around bitcoins.
That's saying
that
nothing.
They can touch.
That's saying nothing.
I've also got something I'm frustrated about, Pete.
Yeah, let's hear it.
All the people on Reddit, how about we just stop jumping down people's comment throats anytime somebody posts about a coin they like?
You're just chilling. You're just pumping and dumping. Yeah.
Hack, shyster, neckbeard, pump and dumper, Alberto Ponzi wannabe.
Schemes.
You're full of it. Why are you okay?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to share a coin, they're like, for instance, I mean, I talk about coins I like on the show, and I own them. And it's if I thought a coin was good, I would do two things with it. I would get some because I think it's good and I think it has a future. And I would tell people because I'm excited and I think it's good and I think it has a future.
Yeah.
I mean, people expect others to only tell people about good coins, apparently, if they don't own any. And I mean, like, why would you trust anybody who tells you a coin is fantastic but won't go out and buy it himself?
That's the backbone of Reddit, is share cool stuff.
Exactly. Share cool stuff. I mean, so if you look at the blockchain for pretty much any coin, you see 90% of a given coin is held in a few wallets. There's a famous Bitcoin chart going around that shows you this in really confusing terms, but I'll put it in the notes anyway. That one with the circle and it's like broken into segments.
Yeah.
Like 94% of people own 0.4% of Bitcoin or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you look at the rich list for any coin, my favorite example is vertcoin. Vertcoin has this fantastic story, this like epic tale of the people taking crypto back, one-click mining, ASIC resistance. But if you look at the rich list, which is the list of the top holders, the addresses that hold the most, it's the same distribution as Bitcoin.
There's whales everywhere.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, something whales don't do is go on a subreddit generally. And post, I'm so excited I found this coin, guys. Here's what's good about it. I mean, they're not looking to dump their entire stash after they post on Reddit. They're not some whale.
Yeah.
They're probably just a minnow, just like you, and they're excited to be part of something, that they really believe in. Now, if it's lasers online, maybe...
Laser online?
Maybe...
Yeah, I love laser online. Hey, give us all of your fiat dollars, and we're gonna continue to do our selling laser equipment to China and Russia, and then, we take the profits and we put it in a Bitcoin stability fund, and you get 5% return on your investment daily, which you can compound, and you tell your friends, your babysitter, and your au pair, and your mailman, and the guy that brings a pizza, and it's an affiliate program based on lasers, supported by Bitcoin.
This is a real thing. Rocco's not making... I mean, maybe it's dead now.
It's a real advertiser on CoinMarketCap.
It's a Ponzi... It's a clear Ponzi scheme where you get a regular return on investment after giving them Bitcoin.
For helping them buy lasers.
To make it more legitimate.
Lasers!
About investing in lasers.
They need them in China and Russia. They're testing and they're shooting them. They're shooting it at food to make the food taste better.
Because of course, lasers legitimize everything.
Yes.
Speaking of lasers, what if we just all dial it back a little bit? And stop saying that coins all the time, that coins are going to the moon or mooning.
Oh, yeah. Geez.
I mean, all the time. I hear it all the time. Moon, baby, moon, 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 moon. I mean, Bitcoin still hasn't gone to the moon. Most people use fiat. I use fiat still, sadly. I'm waiting for a card to come out that I actually like that uses crypto. I think I'm watching 10x, but it's only available in Europe. I'm watching Metal Pay, but nothing along that line yet. I'm watching, what's another one? I mean, there's others that want to...
Nothing has gone to the moon. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, what I'm saying is that, I can't go out and just... Right now, it's a little bit difficult in the United States to go out and spend crypto and things. So, I'm still using fiat, and everybody's still using fiat, and the people who don't know much about Bitcoin, they're using all fiat. Bitcoin hasn't gone to the moon.
Oh, wait, hold on, Pete. Look at my list. It's going to the moon.
Oh, so it went up.
It went bent down again.
Yeah, that's not the moon. Well, I mean, I don't know. When we sent humans made it to the moon. I mean, Actually, I think a certain blockhead doesn't even believe that.
Listen, all I'm saying, dude.
Why did I say anything?
All I'm saying is I own a really powerful telescope. Okay.
Yeah.
And then this one summer, I spent every night looking at the moon because I wanted to see the lunar lander and that moon dune buggy thing, and I kept looking and looking. Because I was 9 years old, and I always wanted to drive that buggy someday. Now I know I can't. Line, NASA, schmassa, fake, phony, Stanley Kubrick.
I hope I remember to cut this later.
More like one huge lie, man.
Anyway, so going to the moon, let's just stop offending my co-podcast host's sensibilities here.
Please.
Because every time I mention moon, I see his eyes do this thing.
Nothing's been to the moon.
Yeah, nothing. Okay.
Except for like a bunch of meteorites and stuff. Because that's something I can see with my telescope. Crater impact. Well, you know what I didn't see?
How about
dune buggy trails?
How about we use a more accurate term then? Something like new normal. New normaling. Maybe.
That makes sense.
And like Dash, as of this recording, it's broken 400, and we might not see it in the low 300s again. It's been playing around from 425 to 450 for forever.
Or maybe like how Monero, it suddenly got listed on an exchange in South Korea, and then the price shot up to 100, and I don't ever think it'll be back down to 70 again. New normal.
Yeah. Moon Arrow.
No, it didn't go to the moon.
Moon Arrow.
New normal narrow. That's more accurate, and it doesn't make me mad about that thing that nobody wants to talk about.
All right, Rocco. So, do you have to take your pills before we do the news? Are you okay to do the news?
Certainly.
All right, so you take it away.
This isn't news technically, but I just wanted to share this with everybody because great website that I found. Shitcoin Daily. It's a guy writes a blog that it's talking about all the various shitcoins that he finds.
So it's like the grocery store tabloid of crypto news?
Sort of. Or maybe it's like the official wall of shame of the crypto space. Just, hey, look at this. We got scammer grammar. We've got really bad stock images, or worse, images that were shot in somebody's apartment. Oh, look, we're not going to tell you what the coin is. This is a coin that tells you how much time you have left to buy the coin. So you better not wait.
Man, I saw some news earlier about Ripple, and this explains the run-up we saw in Ripple this week. Ripple is one of the top cryptocurrencies. It actually started development before Bitcoin. And it's centralized and doesn't really work like the other currencies do, really. Ripple is focused on helping banks do more efficient financial transactions, around the world, international bank transfers. I get paid from Russia, and it takes days sometimes, and other times,
Days?
There are fees. Oh yeah, sometimes, definitely. It's like Charles Lindbergh flying across the Atlantic, man, bringing my money in a briefcase. 33 hours to fly across the Atlantic, and he takes a fee, for his time flying across the Atlantic.
33 hours.
I'm using Swift, which is anything but.
It takes 33 hours in the 21st century to send money to bank to bank.
It can take several days, yeah, but
I love that example. That was actually in the CoinDesk article. They were saying, Charles Lindbergh, he could probably fly money from Swiss Bank to, JP Morgan Bank. Faster than the SWIFT system, which is very aptly named.
And there are all these, sometimes you got to set up correspondent bank accounts, and there are all these intermediary banks it goes between. It's very complicated. Ripple looks to simplify that. And so there was a landmark deal for Ripple. American Express will apparently start, has opened the first blockchain corridor for money transfer with using Ripple. And now this doesn't mean they're going to be using XRP, the currency, but they're going to be using Ripple's technology.
Okay, so they're not buying up billions of the Ripple coin. They are using the architecture that Ripple owns, doing what Ripple does do.
Right. So the Ripple currency is increasing in value or valuation, whatever, right now because of this news and the attention it's bringing to Ripple and things, but not because the currency itself is going to be used a lot more in the future. I think that unlike Bitcoin, I mean, if Bitcoin does better, then the value will do better. That's not necessarily true with Ripple. Ripple, as a company, could do astoundingly well and revolutionize the world's financial system, and the currency still doesn't,
It doesn't
dominate.
go up. It doesn't go up. That's what I want to say about this article, because I saw it, and people are just like screaming off the rooftops on all the subreddits. It's not really a big deal. I don't think that this Ripple article with Amex and transatlantic money transfers, I don't think it moved the Ripple needle at all. The needle didn't move. Maybe it was at 20 cents. Now it's at 22 cents.
This Amex news?
Yeah, I don't think it responded. It didn't create some weird, phony, irrational, exuberant pump. I mean, what it did do is it started an experiment. If American Express loves what happens and they save $1 bajillion and maybe their stock price goes super up, other companies will look into it.
And I mean, the currency might be used. I'm not saying that Ripple will never be valuable. I have some Ripple.
I do not.
I know. But there's this millennial poll. I mentioned a millennial poll last week about 33% of millennials wanting Ethereum. And the same poll had 25% saying they would invest in Ripple, even though only 22% had heard of it.
I would think maybe they got it wrong. I don't know. This big bank deal didn't actually correspond to a rise in the price. So if you were one of them millennials and you bought Ripple, you'd probably be sitting there like, I'm just holding the bag.
Well,
It's
went
more
up 10%. It's probably enough to make people think.
It's more of a wait and see.
I've heard people say that Ripple's going to hit $100. But
I would never believe someone that says that.
Yeah, I didn't say I didn't say I'm believing that. There are definitely Ripple fans out there.
Sure, more power to you.
I don't know. Maybe they're seeing Ripple being used more by people because it is fast. There are certain conveniences about it, but it's not decentralized. There's this mysterious huge amount of Ripple that's sitting in the corporation's control that's going to be released later. Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's move on from Ripple. I'm sure we'll talk about it again in the future.
I got something else. Okay, so there is a big fat Korean ATM manufacturer that announces a new Bitcoin-compatible model of ATM. Here's from the article on Cointelegraph.com. Korean company Hyosung, a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate involved in ATM manufacturing, among other things. They have announced they will offer Bitcoin buying support on its machines through a partnership with a company called Just Cash.
Just Cash.
Yeah, Just Cash. They are a Missouri-based mobile company which offers mobile-based solutions for customers to obtain cash from ATMs, and they will now allow any Hyosung ATM client to access Bitcoin.
So let me get this straight. There's a company in Missouri named Just Cash, and they are empowering this Korean company to work with something other than cash.
Oh, yeah, I guess I kind of overlooked that. I think it's cool news. I think it's big news.
That's hilarious. Okay. Just Cash.
Okay, can you just overlook these idiosyncrasies and maybe just realize Mike Novogratz recently made a speech saying the herd is coming. And how does the herd, meaning mass adoption, come? Maybe Korean company supporting a Bitcoin on their ATM machines and something. I don't know.
Have you seen the evidence that Mike Novogratz helped save us from a bear run on Bitcoin after the Segwit 2X failure? Well, you know how I remember there was this like huge run up as soon as they announced Segwit 2X was canceled back in November. What was that, 5th or something? As soon as they announced it was canceled, or 11th, I don't even remember. It ran up to 7,800. I sold, a bunch of people sold. It crashed down to like 6,000, maybe dipped under 6,000 to 5,500. Mm-hmm. There's this one like area where you can see that it's likely Mike Novogratz buying. Apparently he bought $15 to $20 million worth of Bitcoin.
What?
And it bumped it up and then it kind of ran down again and then the Japanese investors or something got back involved. And that kind of like stopped it from possibly bear running.
Okay, I didn't see that.
It makes sense because Mike Novogratz has been going around just proclaiming the virtues of Bitcoin and saying it's going to get huge and people are going to get into it.
And he might be right.
And of course he would want to help make that happen. And that's the kind of thing that a person with a lot of money can do. That's a lot of money for Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's cool. Mike Novogratz can push the price of Bitcoin back up. But did you know, Pete, that when Mike Novogratz does push-ups, he's actually pushing the earth down?
Oh, we're going to do that? Well, something I find truly amazing is that Mike Novogratz can win Connect 4 in 3 moves.
Whoa. Yeah, I looked on his Wikipedia. Mike Novogratz, he has counted to infinity twice.
And mathematical wonders never cease because Mike Novogratz can divide by 0.
I mean, I can too.
No.
Anything divided by 0 is 0. Isn't that the thing?
This is why I explain the math. But you do ride a mean unicycle.
Yeah, I ride a unicycle, and then this Mike Novogratz fact that I saw on the internet. Mike Novogratz can do a wheelie on a unicycle, and that just blows my mind. I mean, what a guy.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I didn't read Superman comics, but all my friends did. You know, they read Superman comics. But I've heard that Superman actually reads Mike Novogratz comics.
Whoa.
Mike Novogratz.
That's enough of that.
The Bitcoin Superman.
Yeah,
we got the Bitcoin Jesus, and we got the Bitcoin Superman.
There you go. Let's do that. So, yeah, you guys, you can email us and give us your best Mike Novogratz facts. And maybe he'll send us all some Bitcoin. That'll be cool. Is there another news item? Should we talk about this?
Yeah. Let's talk about Coinbase custody.
What is that? It's for institutional investors?
Mm-hmm. It's Mike Novogratz.
Oh, people the cool people.
It's people with at least $10 million minimum balance.
Whoa.
There's a $100,000 fee, so we're definitely talking Coinbase is moving to making options for big-time investors.
The fee, $100,000, just goes to Coinbase for being a part of the service. They take it?
I mean, it's a sign-up fee, yeah.
Wow. I mean...
I don't really know the details about this. I know it's going to be a product for big-time investors in Bitcoin, Ethereum, ERC20 tokens, Litecoin, and there are some other currencies they'll support that they haven't announced yet.
Okay.
And it's definitely something to watch.
Yeah, so, okay, when I saw that article, I was like, whoa, this seems really big. I had to go to the Wikipedia, and I looked up custodian bank. So what that is, it's a specialized financial institution responsible for safeguarding a firm's or an individual's financial assets and is not engaged in traditional commercial or consumer retail banking, such as mortgages, personal lending, branch banking, personal accounts, or ATMs, and so forth. Blah, 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 stuff. It's all for big money people.
Yeah,
basically.
it's for the big money people. Now, this kind of lines up with what a lot of people have been saying, that Bitcoin, with its high transaction fees and slow times, is sort of maybe becoming a coin for millionaires.
Oh.
Less than a coin for I mean, if I want to go buy a coffee, it will cost me a huge amount of money to buy coffee right now.
It'll be like buying 2 coffees. Maybe.
More like 5. I don't know where you get your coffee. But
it'd be like, you'd be buying 2 coffees, drinking one of them, and then by the time you get it, it's cold because of the confirmation times.
Right. It's cold and you're gone and the store is closed and reopened a couple of times in the interim.
So Bitcoin, you can't even order an iced latte because by the time you get it, the ice will melt.
Yeah, Bitcoin is, and the milk will spoil probably. I mean, Bitcoin is having a little bit of trouble right now because of its own success. It's having trouble with its own weight. You know, it's grown super quickly, and I'm sure they'll solve it. I'm confident that a solution will be found. But right now, we're seeing it be kind of a millionaire's coin. Unless you're buying a house or a car, you don't want to be making purchases with Bitcoin until that's remedied.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Do you want to handle this next one?
So speaking of millionaires, Jamie's got a meeting with Swiss banking regulators. Yeah.
Jamie
Apparently, JP Morgan has been accused of money laundering. This comes from an article on U.S. News Money. I know U.S. News,
U.S. News and World Report. It's an official thing.
I read it when I was in a hotel, stuck overnight.
It's a magazine that prints stuff, and it's all truthy.
So this article is, Swiss regulator finds that JP Morgan broke money laundering rules.
Yeah, so I think the primary source for this was a Swiss publication, which I cannot read. But now that it's gotten picked up by a more reputable source than zerohedge.com, yeah, there's a problem in Switzerland, and JP Morgan's got some splaining to do.
A lot of people think that Jamie Dimon should already be in
what?
A certain place with less liberties than normal society because of past things that JP Morgan's done and gotten away with. But
banks.
I'm not speaking about that.
No, the banks are always trying to do the best thing, and they're just being people that give out money and never take it.
Yeah, together
And-
with the banks,
and they follow-
we'll go far.
And they follow the rules. But I'll tell you what, those Bitcoin people, they're all using it for dark web transactions and their money laundering.
Evil.
And those Bitcoin
Evil
people,
bastards.
it's all scam too. That's the other thing. And if anybody is trading in Bitcoin, they should get fired and stuff.
Bitcoin's a big Ponzi scheme that's going to collapse. Banks are immune to collapse.
Yeah.
They've never collapsed before.
It's never happened in
It's
my
never
lifetime.
happened
It's
in-
never happened in my lifetime.
It hasn't happened in less than a decade ago.
It hasn't
certainly.
happened in like the past 8 or 9 years. Didn't. So
So speaking of financial institutions, again, this
Yeah.
one's a Square. Square's actually run by the CEO is the same as the CEO of Twitter.
Whoa.
He's founded a couple of successful companies.
cool.
And Square has begun testing Bitcoin in its mobile application. A surprising thing. A lot of users started tweeting saying, hey, it looks like I can buy Bitcoin, sell Bitcoin now in my Square mobile app. Square is kind of like PayPal. Well, maybe a little simpler than that. More like, Venmo.
Yes.
The kind of like payment center. And Square is... I know that they also have applications for...
Is it literally the Square that can plug into a mobile device and swiping a credit
I
card?
know they have something like that, yeah, but
that's
that's
for
not,
your farmers market and whatever.
yeah,
People,
but that's
people
not
use
what
that.
that's
Yeah,
not
I've
what
seen it.
this app is really about.
Yes, it's different.
It's consumer focused, and so you can't transact in Bitcoin yet. You can't send receive payments, but you can buy and sell Bitcoin. So they're definitely testing the
They're
waters,
testing it.
and they've said on record that they think that cryptocurrency is going to involve the general public more in the global financial system in a positive way. So they're excited to figure that out. Speaking of companies, there's some more news. So now another company that's no stranger to blockchain and Bitcoin has announced an interesting finding today.
So, okay, we all know that Overstock.com is probably the largest online retailer that accepts Bitcoin. They revealed some data recently. The state in which people are using cryptocurrency in the highest percentage. Guess what state that is? It's the biggest state that there is. It's Alaska.
Oh, Alaska.
Yeah.
I guess sometimes I forget that's a state.
Not far behind a very, very small state.
Delaware.
Delaware.
Is that per capita?
Yeah,
Or not
probably
per
like
capita, is that
like the percentage of payments that come from these different states. Number 1 percentage
Okay.
Alaska. Number 2 is Delaware, followed by Oregon, Wyoming, and then finally Hawaii is up there too.
okay?
So I don't know what we can take from this about the people that live in these certain geographic. It seems like
Well, they're all
maybe
pretty low population states compared to a lot of others, right?
that is true. Yeah, I mean you would say like Alaska, Wyoming, Oregon. Maybe they're all Oregon. Oregon's I've been there.
Yeah.
So, but
Who knows?
there you go.
Other news from across the pond.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Sarah can see China from her place in Alaska, right?
Sarah Palin.
So, yeah.
can
Didn't
see-
she say she could see China from?
No, she said she could see Vladimir Putin's garage.
Oh.
From that. Yeah.
So anyway, speaking of places over there, there's China, and China is the home to Neo, which is people call Neo China's Ethereum.
That's what they
I don't know if
say.
that's-
Yeah. I
Neo
remember.
has some advantages, but actually those advantages that I thought, Neo can smart contracts applications running on Neo can be written in a variety of common programming languages rather than Ethereum, which just uses Solidity, its own programming language that you have to learn, and it's pretty complex. Anyway, there's been a lot of news and movement with Neo recently.
Yeah, it went up. It went up in a really good way because I hold some Neo.
Well, there were rumored announcements. They did this thing where they announce announcements, which cryptos like to do these days.
Ooh, yeah, that's kind of annoying.
I mean, they'll be like, well, we have a big announcement in 3 days, and then the price will start going up because people start pricing in the
and
announcement.
then the announcement comes out and it's just like, oh, I just learned how to save a bunch of money on my car insurance. And then the price tanks.
The saying is, buy the rumor, sell the news.
Or announce the rumor, then sell all of your Neo, and then like the news is a dud.
Well, yeah, but that's the same principle. And when you hear a rumor, everyone buys the rumor. You want to buy the rumor, and it's going to pump up. But once
And
the
then
news actually drops, poof, price just,
Yeah,
tank.
yeah.
And this has happened over and over again One of my favorite coins, Nexus, had a conference in September. The price ran up to $4, and then after the conference, dumped, and now it's at $1.
So there's natural fluctuations,
but then this is just something else. Ripple had a conference, went up to 40 cents a coin, dumped, now it's at 20. I mean,
yeah.
There's just, and this is maybe what's going to happen. We don't know, but the news apparently is that Neo is partnering up with a new exchange. And then there's some more announcements beyond that. It's still kind of unclear as of this point.
Well, I mean, that's something you saw, but what I saw about Neo was the total opposite. Top of the cryptocurrency subreddit on Saturday night, it was just red flags about Neo, just saying all this stuff. And it kind of spooked me, and it probably spooked a lot of people because I watched the price start dropping.
You own some Neo, right?
Yeah.
And the price just started Wait.
It made me nervous.
Is that wait? Is that what happened to our promotional sample of FUD-Suds? Did you have to do?
First of all, Mr. Smart Guy.
You know what? Don't answer that.
No comment.
Did you end up selling all of your Neo?
I did not panic sell after I read an article that was critical of Neo. I'm not a total loser, okay? I slept on it, Pete. And then the next morning, I checked the price of Neo, and it hadn't fallen through the floor. It just kind of found its support and leveled off a little bit.
Okay.
But then it was kind of weird. Obviously, when I checked the price the morning and then I looked on the front page of cryptocurrency subreddit again, I saw a response from someone involved in Neo. And I don't know. I guess that rebuttal was good enough for me. I will continue to hodl Neo. Hodl.
So the original article, as far as I remember, made some complaints about Neo being centralized, not really as advanced as it said it was.
Yeah.
And the rebuttal was that, Neo is a pretty new technology. Look at how long it took Ethereum to develop. And Neo went up in what, August? I mean...
It rebranded. It was known as Ant Shares.
That's right.
Remember?
Yeah.
And then it said, hey, we're Neo, and the smart contracts implementation, maybe that happened around the time of the rebranding. That was something that I saw in the rebuttal. But... it's storevalue.github.io. That's where the blog that I read came from.
Right.
Yeah, centralization is what the guy was talking about. He said there's only 13 validating nodes, which maybe is weird. And then he says the blockchain disappeared for several hours in October. And then on GitHub, where all the software changes are being posted, an alarmingly sparse amount of activity. So meanwhile, I'm feeling kind of weird.
Well, all right. And then the rebuttal said that those nodes are actually voted on by the whole community. It's not really a mark of, and then that it explained the blockchain incident that is mentioned. But as far as GitHub goes, this is the active live chain, and the argument is you don't want to see a bunch of changes, developmental changes on that. They develop it off the main, GitHub. He should have looked at the forks. He should have looked at all the other parts of the GitHub.
So I guess what we're talking about here is we're underscoring the need to do your own research and then maybe not panic and freak out and keep your underwear clean.
Well,
don't run out of FUD-Suds.
It's similar to like when you watch a documentary about how the moon landing was all faked.
Yeah,
and you'll see,
I have all of them.
And you'll see...
They're on a terabyte drive. Do you want to watch?
No,
Stop the recording. I want to change your mind.
Hang on. So, you'll get the shadows don't line up, and you'll get the there are no stars in the sky, and you'll get the flag and whatever.
And the Van Allen belt, the radiation. How did they do that?
Hang on.
It would have been burned up or something.
Yeah.
Like the guy at the end of Raiders of the
Lost
Lost Ark.
Why did I pick this example?
Like the guys...
Why?
Burned up like the guy in the end of the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Just Van Allen radiation. Like that. I mean,
all right.
Buzz Aldrin, he doesn't have all sorts of radiation
So you're
scars.
proving my point.
How'd they do that?
You'll hear something like that, and it seems pretty convincing until you do your research.
Okay.
And you find out that there are counter arguments to that. In this case, every single one of those points is actually evidence that we went to the moon.
Okay.
But
we're getting in the weeds here. Let's stop.
If you hear an article...
I'm going to agree to think you're stupid, okay? How about, can we just agree that you're stupid? Anywho.
You just said you could divide by 0.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you get something up in 0 and it's 0. I don't know.
You ride a unicycle.
Yeah. I can defy physics. I clearly know about math.
So
Just trust me, okay?
So anyway, the point...
It's in my core. It's in the core. The core balance. I got a lot of balance in the core.
Unlike the Bitcoin core.
And then it's like, and that's where my math comes from. My math, it's in the core. I don't think about it. I know it. I know that something divided by 0 is 0.
It's just intuition.
Yeah.
Just, all right.
It feels right.
Feels right.
And you know, keep riding.
Well, I mean, so you go by feeling. That's exactly what you shouldn't do when you see these articles that say, oh, this coin is so terrible. This coin is blah, 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 blah.
Keep on riding?
No. You should not go by feeling. You should read it. You should consider it. And then you should look for counter arguments and try to get to the truth of things. You know, well,
that's the thing. It's like there's different versions of truth, okay? Like, do you know...
Well, what theory of truth do you hold to? So is relative truth the real truth?
It's more like relative, you know? We got relative truth. You got relative morality.
Is that your conviction?
What about truth?
Relative truth is the absolute truth.
About, like in reporting, how do you feel about that? Like truth?
That relative truth is true?
No, I think actually it's untrue because that can be a different answer from different people. Do you see what I'm saying? And
I grew up as a pianist and a chess player. For me, everything is black and white. You know, I mean, it's just...
That's really how the world is. It's complex. Everything's not black and white, and it's sort of like maybe gray. Now we're 4 minutes, okay?
She was going to ask what 4 divided by 0 is.
Yeah, 4 divided by 0 is 0. Get out of my face, you 0. I don't know. Like, this Mensa member of a lady, she just spent 3 hours in the pouring rain watching football for some reason. I'm there getting paid. I don't know why she's there, but I just know that if she noticed television cameras and she wanted to know which network was shooting the football game, maybe she just could have asked one of those other Mensa members sitting there soaking wet in the bleachers, you know, in the stands, just doing nothing. Or maybe she could have asked a cop, someone who voluntarily everyone decided to pay the cop to stand there and do nothing. Right. You know, he'll answer stupid questions.
I mean,
he's supposed to be nice or something.
She wanted to know what network was shooting the game. Why wouldn't you know what? So you just straight up ignored.
This is just because of experience, okay? Like I'm working there, like soaking wet, wrapping up the cables to finally get out of there. And you know what? I've talked to people before. Now I don't, because I found out that strangers that talk to you in public, they're either trying to defraud you or beg for money from you, or they're maybe worse. Maybe they're just too stupid to understand my big thinker person words.
Thinker person words.
Yeah, because I know that this is definitely somebody who's too stupid to use their phone to Google and...
Remind me to put you in charge of our society. Never.
Hold on.
I mean, this is just... All right, go ahead.
Also, someone who is not even smart enough to use her eye holes to eye Google something. You know? Like, I've talked to strangers in the past, and it never ends well. Okay? It's just a waste of my time, and it just makes me sad for future generations,
Man,
Pete.
You know, we're so different, you and I. Just so different. I mean...
Are we?
Yeah. No, totally.
I kind of think that's your way of saying, Rocco, you're the kind of person that I hate the most.
Well, there's the first intelligent thing you've said in this whole rant.
Yeah, well, speaking of fear for future generations, that brings us to this main topic for Blockheads Round 5.
Right, this week's main topic.
It's a fear that I think Pete and I both actually mutually share.
FUD about the Fed. Yeah, I mean, as soon as you said that, I knew what it had to be about.
Yeah,
fear, uncertainty, and doubt about the Fed, and the market's going red.
FUD about the Fed, and the market's going red. What's going on? What's going on? Something about President Trump, and I think those markets are gonna eventually dump. Whoa, hold on. It's something. I don't have anything else.
Okay. Well, anyway.
That was really good beatboxing, Pete. Wow, I'm impressed.
Wow. Well, thanks, Rocco. You're not going to edit that down to make it sound stupid, right?
I'm probably going to put in some auto-tune and then, like, sound effects, some explosions and shit, and then, like, maybe...
Lasers? Can we put in lasers?
Yeah, lasers. Ooh, lasers from China and Russia, and you can get so much profit. 15% daily. No, wait, hold on. 25% compounded interest daily with our Bitcoin Stability Fund. It's totally legit, and, like...
Nothing is more stable than lasers, ladies and gentlemen.
And look at our Laser Online video. It opens with a female robot pointing at one of the Minority Report screens.
Wait, does it really?
Yeah, it does. I sent it to you. I sent it to you because I wanted you to know it was awesome.
I didn't open it because I had seen the Lasers Online website before.
Well, you gotta dig deep.
I'll check out the dig deep. Right.
It gets funnier and better.
You know what's best at digging deep? Lasers. Lasers are really good for digging deep, so...
Lasers for drilling, fracking, Halliburton. Definitely needs to frack for the oil with our lasers. But we need your money first to buy them and sell them to Dick Cheney's Halliburton. Fracking for lasers.
Fracking for facts? Can we frack for facts?
Let's frack for facts about the FUD about the Fed, and the market's going red, and I don't know how to rhyme more, but yeah.
All right, so FUD about the Fed. Yeah, last week we told you guys how to buy crypto. We had 50 ways, or, well, approximately maybe the square root of 50.
7.5.
Yeah, square root of 50 ways to buy crypto. And this week, your trustworthy blockheads will tell you why to buy crypto.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of reason to do it, but this is definitely just a suggestion.
Not a recommendation.
It's not a recommendation.
Not financial advice.
Maybe there's going to be some weird stuff happening. I don't know. Maybe things can get weird, and maybe some people know about the Federal Reserve just inflating the money into nothing, and maybe the economy is changing because of the 21st century we live in, and how things are just not a thing.
No, this is the biggest why. I mean, fiat currency is, in many people's minds, a ticking time bomb.
Mm-hmm.
It's every country's currency has failed eventually, multiple times. It's almost that we've gotten lucky in the United States.
You know what they say?
To not experience a currency crash.
One day you wake up in Cleveland, Ohio. The next day you wake up in Zimbabwe.
I've never woken up in Cleveland.
That's what people say. Cleveland, Ohio.
Right, Zimbabwe is undergoing a super currency crash right now, and people are turning to Bitcoin.
Yes, that's cool. So yeah, just sit back, find a snuggie or a warm blanket, or maybe just clutch the closest firearm tightly as we embark on a view of how things could be. Almost a decade of 0% interest rates and quantitative easing from the Fed has ended. It took a while, but the dumbfounded look on CNBC's reporters' faces have finally turned to mirthful smirks. The Dow Jones has begun to reflect the state of a politically divided nation, from the unlikely all-time high of 23,000 to 18,000 and still dropping. President Trump's approval rating has finally normalized to 33%. That's the number of people that haven't realized his administration has been a legislative failure. Healthcare reform failed twice. The tax reform plan failed because 3 senators thought it didn't provide enough relief to the drastically shrinking middle class. The national economy is looking worse than it ever has. Amazon.com absolutely crushed brick-and-mortar retail during the holiday season, and CNBC is smelling blood for the upcoming Q1 earnings reports. It's spring 2018 now, and U.S. automakers are seeing a slowdown in new car sales. Auto retailers have been unable to clear their lots of used cars. The market is saturated with quality four-wheeled vehicles, and that 0% interest rate that the Fed took away from lenders? It's not so easy to get a subprime loan for a new car anymore. Reporters on the financial beat are starting to notice the rising default rate for cars people can no longer afford. At least the repo men can afford to pay off their new tow trucks. Subprime was all over the news back in 2008, and Americans are shocked to hear those words again, in the same decade, because of the same bankers, none of whom went to jail the first time. What's worse with America's obsession with driving? Uber has unveiled its results from the driverless car beta tests. 0 sexual harassment reports. That was pretty obvious. But also, 0 collisions. The program will be expanded, and new hires for drivers looking to supplement their inadequate income will cease. Whole Foods' merger with Amazon has brought organic, gluten-free, or low-glycemic food to every consumer with health problems, and the logjam caused by Obamacare's mismanagement has turned the general practitioner into a glorified dietitian. For instance, a New Yorker article recently used this telling example. The waiting list for gastric bypass surgery is longer than the border wall that President Trump still hasn't built. As a result, the Surgeon General issued a report equating fast food consumption with being more harmful than smoking for certain obese patients. The board of McDonald's, feeling the weight loss in their bank accounts, proposes an initiative replacing every cashier, even the drive-thru attendant, with touchscreen ordering consoles. The minutes of that boardroom meeting are leaked by a hacker, and inexplicably, McDonald's stock price soars above the competition. More frequently, computers have been popping up in places where people used to work. Walmart, only slightly bruised by online retailers during Christmas, has struck a landmark $4.3 billion deal with Sun Microsystems. The chip maker will be creating proprietary RFID tags for every single Walmart item. Scan and Go checkout gates will be built in front of every exit by Q1 2019. Yet another national corporation no longer needs the assistance of cashiers. Walmart's stock price skyrockets. Municipal bonds struggle to court Wall Street buyers. Rising interest rates have spooked the bond market. Analysts see no recovery on the horizon. The government shutdown due to congressional deadlock has caused millions of workers unable to pay their mortgages. Overpowered processors to enable fully automated tractor-trailers on U.S. highways by Q4 next year, causing unexpected layoffs numbering in the tens of thousands. With criticism for asking his followers through a poll on Twitter how best to deal with the escalation in tension with North Korea. According to a CIA report proving the missiles could strike coalition allied cities as far away as Tokyo or Manila. Support from the parliament is waning. Rising political strife in urban public schools due to budgetary constraints rated the infrastructure essential to continuing nationwide commerce as C7 or close or very close to irreparable within 2 to 4 years. New book by the award-winning author declares the naive, self-obsessed, pompous New York businessman the millennial president. Some readers asking the question, will this be the last U.S. president?
So yeah, man, that was scary, and that to me, that's a major reason to be in cryptocurrency.
Okay, so hear us at Blockhead's headquarters. Hear us, all of us. All of us.
Right.
At the Blockheads HQ, we worked really hard to kind of not really take too many creative liberties with that, what we came to call the nightmare scenario. These are more like future headlines and not a work of fiction, so it's more like this is sort of possible, I think, because I watch CNBC a lot and I kind of see far, and I'm the Steve Jobs of this operation, so I don't think that was a stretch. I don't think what we all just listened to
Steve Jobs was nearsighted.
Okay, it's just like me.
That's why he had
Wow,
those
I'm
glasses.
nearsighted too.
Yeah.
We're samesies.
I thought how do you see far then?
Oh, well, I mean, like, I wear contact lenses, of
Oh,
course.
okay.
I mean,
All right.
I had a physical done recently. I got 2015 vision. 2015, like, I'm way better.
2015 is in the past, dude, not the future.
I mean, like, it's almost like an eagle. It's better than 2020. That's
Oh.
what the nurse told me.
Will 2015 be better than 2020? I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't think so. I just don't think so. I think that
What do you think?
2020 is going to be...
Is it going to be like what we just did in the nightmare scenario? It's going to be...
Maybe, but...
Is it going to be full Trump dystopia, bread lines, and...
Do you think Trump will be reelected?
Oh, hell no. I mean... Well,
there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's a way to test Rocco's 2020 vision of the future.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do not think that guy from New York, that tiny orange Cheeto dick orange person, will be reelected for a second term. No, I don't.
He's an angry orange football filled with spiders.
Oh, gosh. He's doing a heck of a job, though. He's really trying.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's tweeting all the time, dude. Come on. That counts for something.
Yeah, Twitter. Twitter's definitely...
Oh.
Anyway, so let's talk about crypto's appeal with younger people.
Yeah, which is where we see a lot of the interest.
Yeah, speaking of politicians, I mean, one of the reasons I see it, and this, for various reasons, Bernie Sanders did dominate the youth vote last election cycle.
Yeah, that's, I think that's, I don't know what the numbers were, but they're pretty damn high.
And forget about...
Young people for Bernie.
Forget about socialism, democratic socialism, forget about all that. It's not really the scope of this podcast, but Bernie's message was that the rich are screwing over the poor. And the young people definitely heard that message.
Yeah.
And before Bernie, it was actually kind of Ron Paul with that garnering the youth vote.
Like, he definitely got every single kid, conservative leaning, on board.
Yeah.
With his message, which largely in part was talking about the Federal Reserve debasing our currency slowly over generations or decades even, especially this past one. It really took hold. So that's maybe, we could say, 3 consecutive presidential elections in which the populist financial message has really taken hold.
Right, and so this is a way to buck the oppressive financial system.
Sort of. I mean, that's one reason kids look into financial freedom through cryptocurrency. That's sort of what people are looking into. And why would kids want financial freedom through cryptocurrency?
All sorts of things. I mean, a college does not equal a job.
Yes. A lot of kids are forced to go to college because it seems like the natural step. Because, I mean, hey, my parents don't want me in the house anymore. Mm-hmm. I can't just get a job and, pay for my own apartment. How about I postpone my future and maybe just stick my head under this student loan debt guillotine and go to college for 4 years? And
during those 4 years, they watch Netflix and, on a borrowed, maybe their parents' account still or whatever.
Yeah.
And they click on The Big Short, and now they're just terrified.
Yeah, I clicked on The Big Short because I thought Steve Carell was a funny guy, and I thought I was going to watch a funny movie. And then I needed Fud Suds.
Now, that movie brought the house down.
It was funny, but was it not also scary?
Yeah, it brought The Big Short. Literally bringing the housing down.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fine. We'll go there. Totally. Yeah. No, okay. It's like you got Steve. If you haven't seen it, all of our Blackaholics and our crypto Slovakians and people in Asia. Every time. Our crypto Singaporeans.
Kryptonites? Wait, that's a thing already.
Kryptonian? No. It's stupid. Okay.
Mike Novogratz has Kryptonian as his, kryptonite. No, that doesn't make any sense.
That's not getting edited. You need to marinate on that, dummy. Okay, no, but anybody who hasn't seen The Big Short, it's probably streaming on Netflix still. It's got Steve Carell, Bradley Cooper, Brad Pitt, Ryan Gosling, everybody's favorite house builder from The Notebook. Who else famous is in that movie? Margot Robbie. I'm missing one prominent male lead. Do you remember? No? Anyways, it's got all your favorite people, and they're doing a very educational and entertaining story about that time when the banks almost made us go back to the Stone Age because they broke our money.
So far I've done a really good job of pretending I've actually seen this movie.
What?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Damn it, Pete. Make some coffee. We're going to watch The Big Short.
All right, be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, okay, so we're back. Okay, let's talk about just a generation of kids that... How does it feel to be a generation from the housing collapse? I don't know if you're in high school, all of a sudden your parents are freaking out because it's 2008, and daddy's investments with Vanguard or some other big 401k investment firm. Oh, it's a done deal. It's totally safe. Don't worry. We got your stocks and bonds and biggity boobops. And they're gone.
My father was in a business kind of acquisition deal at the time, and he actually pulled his money out of the stock market for, to cover part of the deal, because it had just reached that point where if it went any lower, he wouldn't be able to go through with the deal with his partners. And but it ended up being the very bottom of the market.
Whoopsie.
But at the time he felt like he had to make that call, but it was not a time of confidence.
It was terrifying. And if the kids don't know it, they're probably not going to buy crypto, but it was terrifying. And, geez.
Boy.
Like we said in the nightmare scenario, it's like you had subprime housing causing a big fat panic, and now there is literally people talking about the subprime auto loans that are going on. I don't know. It's like,
so you have Bitcoin coming in as this kind of immunity offer.
A little bit.
Where if anything, if the housing market collapses, well, it's, this won't collapse.
Because it's completely different from the Federal Reserve note. It's
right.
Not tied up in all of this complicated weirdness. Yeah.
What about other parts of the banking system? Like, what about fees?
Fees? Yeah, people do not like fees. Okay.
I know that the bank I bank with, you can get hit with $436 charges each day. And I think it's, they won't charge you for charges under $5 that reduce your account.
Okay. So something happened, but you know what? It still kind of sucks.
Maybe I just revealed what bank I bank with, and thus opened myself up to all kinds of hostile attacks.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they can't steal my Bitcoin, so we're good.
So here we are. We've got this 21st century money that kids find out about.
It's like sci-fi.
It's kind of like sci-fi. Yeah, it's sort of like, I don't know, if like Blade Runner or something, and they're in the future and they're just like, oh, it's just going to be 47 bing bongs. And
they slide it on their CRT monitors.
Yeah, I don't know. Or like they wave their hand over a thing. It's
big Atari logos.
Yeah, it scans it automatically. And then, yeah, that's science fiction stuff.
Enhance. Put my money in the machine. Enhance.
That's not how that works.
Have you seen Blade Runner? I'm sure. Have you seen the new Blade Runner, by the way?
No, I didn't.
All right, let's go see it.
Okay, fine. Put on a pot of coffee. Let's watch Blade Runner. Also,
oh, man.
No, okay, science fiction. Yeah.
Yeah, it's now like becoming fact. Yeah.
Science fact. I didn't have a cell phone when I was a kid, but then they keep getting stronger and stronger. It's getting nuts. And I think for a younger generation right now, they have seen a lot of evidence that if companies are promising certain kind of technology, like for instance, hey, do you know cars are going to be driving themselves someday? They just have to wait 3 months and it's going to be real. That's the generation that is coming up right now.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different mindset. I think they're willing to move forward way faster than someone who's a baby boomer saying, oh, that'll never happen. No, because just wait till next year. Self-driving cars are going to be in the lane next to you on the highway. And kids know this because they've already seen stuff from movies. Okay, that's totally happening. I can buy that soon. That's the attitude, right?
That's interesting because we had this whole era of really dramatic progress where we went from not being able to get a rocket off of the ground to landing on the moon. And,
yeah, a citation needed.
But and then we went into this another era that's still sort of continuing today where there, other than smartphones and biotech, there really haven't been that many dramatic developments in many industries. So are you saying this is a turnaround? Like where suddenly now we've got, driverless cars are coming and quantum computing is coming and maybe a breakout into another era of rapid development?
Yeah.
Rapid technological progress?
You're touching on a weird point. I guess we have to think about maybe now you've got a lot of youngish billionaires like Zuckerberg that can do so much with their money. Elon Musk, who is doing really amazing stuff like owning his own space program, SpaceX,
right,
with the money that he made in tech. we see that.
Made it in PayPal, no less.
Well, whatever. I mean, he made his money. Now what is he doing? He's doing something really cool, like he's going to finally actually put a person on the moon accurately, for real, verifiable, decentralized, confirmed confirmations, validated nodes, all that. But okay,
I
what
have
other...
an ICO for you, Mooncoin. Yeah, I should get you in on that.
Mooncoin's already real.
Oh, lunar coin.
Is there any other tech young billionaires that come to your mind, Pete? That kind of we can keep adding to the list. No, not really.
Man, young billionaires. Well, there's a number of Bitcoin billionaires, obviously.
Well, I'm sure young people know about the fact that there are Bitcoin millionaires that made $1 million in the pajamas and now whatever. But when we're talking about how time has changed, what?
Let me think about this. Young billionaires. I mean, people that people would know. I mean, who counts as young?
Elon Musk is young.
His partner, Peter Thiel. I guess Peter
Thiel does count. Peter Thiel totally counts.
He's 50 years old.
Because meaning he probably when he made his first billion, when he entered the 3 Comma Club, he might have been 35.
Right, the 3 Comma Club, like Russ Hahnemann.
All right, let's get back on track. So,
I mean, like the point that I was making of a lack of technological progress for a while, and
the lack of technological progress. Right. Sure, there's been stuff, but I guess we do have to recognize, and maybe kids see this too, a very visible revolution in computer technology, in entertainment, revolutionizing through streaming video and all of that stuff, maybe cinematic techniques, or at least definitely computer animation in cinema.
Well, there are more things than that too. I mean, we've got people voting, like using their phones to determine what will happen on a show. We got people talking about it, creating content, live reviews, live streaming, social people getting involved in the stories that are being told to a degree that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, so that's...
And I guess that falls within the realm of communication too.
Yeah, computer revolution in communication technology has definitely happened, and then also navigation counts for a lot. Kids have seen that. Maybe they've asked that weird question to their parents. Hey, Mom and Dad, how on earth did you get around without Google Maps on your phone? Because my GPS wasn't working earlier, and I realized I was totally crippled, and I didn't know how to do anything. So
learn how to read a map, kids. It's important. Actually, you know what? Kids can often, I find, are okay with reading maps because video games still use them.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, sometimes they have those little arrows, but there's some games where you have to look at the map. You open the map and you look at it, and but you're right.
Basically, what we're talking about now is, it seems like the one sector of the economy that has yet to really be disrupted, and it's overdue for a disruption, is the area of finance, computers and software changing consumer finance. And that's what our podcast is about, isn't it?
Our financial system was basically invented by the Medici family.
Okay.
Like, we've been running on the same kind of finances. The last big financial revolution was double ledger accounting in like the 1400s.
Seriously?
Yeah. I mean, that's the financial sector is overdue for a revolution. Yes. Sure, there have been developments, but this is the next big thing in finance.
The cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what? Maybe we buy cryptocurrency and we don't end up like Viggo Mortensen in Cormac McCarthy's The Road?
Yeah, another movie I haven't seen.
What? Okay, good. Well,
So, let's check in. How are your coins doing, Rocco?
My coins are doing fine. You don't want to know about my personal state of mind?
No. How are your coins doing?
Who knows? I mean, maybe we're going to have another Brown Saturday sometime. That's how I feel about it.
I'll have to get some more Fud Suds in for you.
No, I'm not going to need it.
Okay.
Diversify. Well, okay, don't diversify. Buy Fud Suds because they're our sponsor. and boy, it's such a good product. You can hardly tell that I had a problem on Brown Saturday when Bitcoin Cash went up that high and did it. And let's just wrap it up, Pete. What do you say? I think I want to give a shout out to all of our fans out there.
Shout out.
All of our fans out there living in British Columbia. And maybe all of our lovely listeners in Africa that live in Mozambique. And
United Coindom.
Yeah, United Coindom?
United Coindom.
Good job.
Yeah.
I think that maybe some of our fans live on a couple islands. known as proof of works in Pecos in the Caribbean. Yeah, and maybe there's some people on the eastern side of America, and they live in a place called Bloxolchania.
Oh, and we got the Dominican Republic.
Maybe there's some more Canadians that live up in Toronto, Canada.
Jeez. That is genuinely terrible.
Yeah, let's. There's the music. Okay, I can hear the music. Good, thanks. We're almost done. Good. Thank you, music, for saving us. I ran out of places of where crypto people live.
Guys, we need your help. Like us.
Yeah.
Review us. Rate us. Tell your friends. That was kind of an early moment, wasn't it?
Yeah,
sort of. Yeah. Anyway,
who's
please.
Bachman now?
Yeah, who's Bachman now?
Bachman now?
Oh boy. Well,
all right. See you all next week.
Till next time. Round 6 of the Blockheads. Catch you next week. That's been round 5.
And then after that, after 6 will be 7. Shut up, Pete. Turn it off.